Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Friday follow-up in that continuing journey of accountability. Well, today I want to talk about the TOPS Toolbox. In TOPS, we have a lot of items that can help us get that healthy lifestyle and lose weight. Some of them are real obvious, some of them that we use all the time. Definitely the support and accountability is a vital tool that helps us stay on the right path. We get that support and accountability from meetings, whether the meetings are in person, virtual, online, phone calls. There's many ways that we can get support. Now, we've always had the TOPS news as a way of getting information out to everybody for support. We have items that you can purchase in the TOPS store to help you along your way. The website is a valuable resource of information where you can get programs. We offer different types of journals that you can use to track your way. And we've learned a lot over the past couple of years on how we can put more tools in our toolbox. I'll get to those in a moment, but I think you get the idea that there's a lot of different items that are available. And why do we need so many items? It's because we're all different. Yes, we've learned some things over the past couple of years, and we've expanded our toolbox, but we have to remember not everybody is going to be able to get these new tools. Now, I mentioned the TOPS news. That is probably the number one way we can get information out to all our members. But that is not perfect, is it? How many times have we heard folks say, I didn't get my issue because of whatever? And it could be a bad address, could be the snowplow knocked your mailbox down, or you got lost in the mail, or there's a postal worker who saw the magazine and says, hey, I like this. No, that's not happening. But it's probably the number one thing that we have. We realized that people had a hard time going to in-person meetings. We've always had the online membership, but again, not everybody can use all the different tools. So what's happened? Well, we've got these Facebook chats that happen on Monday and Friday, and these videos now can be used, whether you get them from Facebook or from YouTube, could be played at a chapter meeting to stimulate a conversation. I've learned something about people in a room. The first comment is the hardest to make. So you need something to trigger the conversation, whether it's an article in TOPS News, something you get from the website, or something from a video that you can pull from these various sources. But once you get them started, sometimes the hour just goes right away and you really need more. But that can continue with the various tools that we have, because you can call your friends or get onto a Zoom meeting and of that nature. Something else that's been going on for a while, and I jumped into it, is we have blogs. Barb does a blog for every other Monday. We now have Rachel that's doing the Wednesday slot. And I was asked to do the Friday slot, and we have the Refracted Friday views. And the three of us take different approaches to how we want to share the message of TOPS. Now, the challenge is that it's the same message, but we want to put it in different ways because, again, like I said, everybody needs a different tool, a different part of the process that kind of pulls them in and helps them out. Today, I'm going to be starting a new series of blogs. If you like the sensible health, look at the sensible, I'll get there. looking at a healthy lifestyle sensibly, or Aim for the Stars, which dealt with the constellations and the senses with our human senses, I think you're going to like the periodic table of tops. And I'll just wait for those of you who have been reading the blog to get into it and decide and figure out if you can know where I'm going with this. It's going to the basics. So again, we have these different items. Something brand new this year is Tops Talk, where one Saturday every month, we have an expert in a various topics provide a presentation in which is going to be archived, and you can use that. It's probably, don't have to say this, is there's a lot of tools in our toolbox. We have the field staff, we have the headquarters staff, everybody working together so that we can complete the project. Because in any project that you have, you need to have tools, right? Now, I'm reminded when I first started as president of TOPS, there were a few people concerned, maybe concerned's too much of a strong word, but were wondering, there we go, was curious on, wow, they're having a guy be president of TOPS. And then shortly after that, the TOPS news came out, and it was the June issue, which highlights men's health. And there was concern that I was going to turn TOPS News into a men's magazine. Well, I'm sure some of you might have thought, okay, what's he talking about tools about? Isn't that a guy thing? No, my wife Ann has her own toolbox. They actually have toolboxes for women, and she likes them because they're smaller and easier to use. I like it because she leaves my toolbox alone. But it just goes to show that it doesn't matter what gender we are, we all need tools to help us get a healthy lifestyle and lose weight. So something else that is happening, and I'm looking in the toolbox to make sure I at least touched upon on everything, is we have virtual chapters. That's just starting. It's a new concept where folks can, if they don't have a chapter in their area, or they just can't get out late at night just due to health reasons or anything of that nature, or they have friends scattered across the country, they can set up a chapter and they can meet once a week on Zoom. And that is brand new, but let's go back to the beginning. You know, I'm going to be talking a lot about basics this year. And back in the beginning, when Mrs. Mann started TOPS, there was just chapters basically in the Milwaukee area. I like to say the day that the first chapter started in Wisconsin, a chapter in Maine didn't automatically spring up. It just started in Wisconsin and just grew out, right? And that's where we've got to have different tools available. And it's just going to take time to learn how to use the tool correctly. So there is a tool that I haven't mentioned yet, and that's the scale. Probably one of the most important tools right along there with portion control. Yes, that's a tool, folks. And to go forward with what we need to do to continue on to find out what works best for us. And that is key, folks. I can't tell you which tool to use. You have to determine yourself. I can listen to folks when I go to an event and I can take their feedback, but probably the one tool that TOPS is lacking is that we don't have something in place that we can hear from everyone. Sure, I get folks emailing me with praise and criticism. We see positive comments on Facebook and negative comments on Facebook, but that's just a small part of TOPS Nation. Now, do I want to make decisions on just a couple of comments? No. Do I get a sense of sometimes which way things are going? Yeah, I can do that. But that's probably the one thing that I feel is lacking. I don't have the answer for that. I am just throwing it out there for the percentage of folks who use this tool, the Friday morning chats, to kind of think about it. And maybe if you're talking to your the members in your area and stuff, and say, hey, I've talked to several people and we think, or encourage people to write letters or send emails. I read all the letters that come into headquarters. I don't get a chance to answer them all, and some of them don't even want an answer. They're just sharing their views. Why? Because we all want to be heard. We are all struggling with this dreaded disease of obesity. We all need help. And the fact that we recognize that we need help and we raise our hand and asking for help is probably the most powerful tool we have. But I want to be able to have the availability to provide a tool that maybe a member needs. It might be something kind of quirky with a character that's used to put a message forth. I was putting stuff away and I came across some notes that when I was asked to go to Atlanta, Georgia at Federal CDC to do a presentation on adult learning, because I had some ideas that they wanted to hear about using videos and sounds to help people remember what's going on. That's why sometimes we can have a whole talk about how sounds can generate memories, good and bad, and that could help you or hurt you on your journey. So that's where my mind is today, having all these tools available, realizing that not everybody is going to use all the tools, but to have a mechanism to know, can we do more? And finally, before I give the part of the journey of my accountability, there is one thing that I put up in this whole collage of tools, and that's the dollar signs. In order to provide all these tools, it does cost money, but yet we're still the most affordable weight loss group around. Now, again, under the same concept that not everybody can use all the tools, the value or what would cost is relative. To some folks, the amount that you have to pay to join TOPS, it doesn't even register. And others, it's a hardship. And I get that, folks. But where we all can help each other with tools, we can help each other with that too. I know chapters do fundraisers and stuff, and then maybe just if there's issues, people have a hard time, we can help members who cannot afford the tools to go forward. Or a step forward, if you think you're getting more bang for your buck like that, I mean, donations to TOPS is a very valuable tool to help keep our costs down. My father once told me nothing in life is free, and I get that now. But if we don't make the right choices, it can get more costly down the road, can it? When I think about the cost of healthcare going up and just the whole economy, and I don't want to get into a depressing discussion about the economy right now. But when you think about what can the tools that we have now and the affordability of TOPS, how it can possibly avoid costly things for next in the future is really, really vital. So Mrs. Mann's had it right way back in the beginning to start off with support and accountability. And again, that recognition for everybody the recognition for everybody, because I've often said, joining TOPS makes you a winner. And to hope you find the tool that you want, try to get and let us know what is your favorite tool or where we can do better. That is probably something that's ingrained with me, probably coming back from my lab days, that we always want to make the process better, but we can't do that in a vacuum. We have to know what's going on. So I just wanted to share the whole bunch of tools that you may or may not be aware of that we have, and hopefully you share this information with other TOPS members, or better yet, somebody who's not a TOPS member, to say, look, we have all these things that can help you. Now, for that continuing journey of accountability, I was unable to weigh in last night. My wife, Ann, last week came down with COVID. She is doing much better. I had no symptoms, but under abundance of caution, I stayed away from the chapter meeting last night. But I used some of our TOPS tools to hold me accountable. And I have a scale at home, and I know how my scale works with the official scale at my TOPS chapter. And I'm about 1.5 pounds above what my last weigh in at chapter was 4 weeks ago. So I'm hanging on. I'm using the tools that I have available. Yes, I didn't go to an in-person meeting, but I have my scale and I did my portion control and then use the tools available to me, because we're not at a chapter meeting every day, folks. So we have to find these tools to keep us on track. So next week I'll be in Milwaukee for the board of directors meeting. I have some letters to share with them that you folks wrote, and we'll have a good discussion on what more we can do to put more tools in the TOPS toolbox. And I'll see you next Friday.